people come through, and I'm going to tag and share to a few groups into the Venus Gaia Temple group. And into the Star Tribes of Light group. And anybody that comes on watching, please also share this anywhere else that you feel people need to hear. We're going to have a chat today. With the beautiful Theresa, with the beautiful Zahara. So I'm trying to type and talk at the same time. I don't know if I'm quite...
multitask. I think you're amazing. Amazing.
Right, it's shared on my Facebook page. So
Brilliant.
You did share it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't done that. No.
I think this is working, and I'm going to, at the same time, yeah, this is going live. I'm seeing it here. Perfect. And we are public. Michelle is live. Welcome, Michelle. Please comment that you can hear us. Just let us know that it's working. You can see us and hear us clearly. Looks like we have 3 or 4 watching. Brilliant. We were a little late coming on, my loves, so excuse us for that. We were rebooting technology. Oh, wonderful. You're here. Wonderful, Michelle. Thank you. Well then. It's my honor. It is my honor and absolute pleasure to welcome Theresa, to welcome Zahara here into our little community, Sister Talks. And today we're going to be sharing stories, chats, inspirations, the how and the why maybe of the Venus Gaia Temple Rising Pilgrimage that I am also going to be a part of. I'll be attending. And we're going to just share some love, some light. Yeah, I think we'll keep it simple. And I first, because this is my first time actually meeting Theresa. Hello. She is hailing all the way from near Mount Shasta, I believe, in the USA.
Yes, that's
Wonderful.
mostly my home base, yeah.
And we have Zahara. Some of you recognize Zahara from, she's been on with me before. She is now residing in Wales, and she's a beautiful, beautiful soul as well. But I'm going to get Theresa and Zahara just to maybe send 1 or 2 lines for the peeps that maybe don't know who you are, just to introduce yourselves.
Zahara, do you want to go?
The energies are so strong that it feels I don't know what to say.
How about
other than light language and saying in English, I don't know what to say.
It's just sort of come through.
So hello everyone. I'm sure I think yeah.
I love you. I love you so much. Are you okay if I share a little bit about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Sure.
I know this is a word that you and I use together. It's kind of like, oh God, do we have to label ourselves? But multidimensional being of love. Here, we're just love. Bringing through our gifts, our abilities, in whatever way we can, shining the light. Zahara is all of that and more. She's really, really gifted and multi-talented. She has this vocal sound healing that will move through every single cell in your body. She creates shifts in an instant. This is with me personally. She is the most amazing soul, bringing through soul portraits that will just unlock you in ways visually, not just sound. She works visually as well with people. And she's an incredible soul all around. She opened me up to my dragons as well. This is my experience of you. And she's an incredible soul. I just instantly, the minute I met Zahara, I felt connected with her because there is this power but gentleness and this authentic essence that makes you resonate and co-resonate with her in that space. So thank you, Zahara.
Thank you.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Yay. And
Isn't she fabulous? I mean, really, yeah, she's just, every time I work with Zahara, I'm like blown away by her so many gifts and the ease with which she expresses her multidimensional existence. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the challenge is being human. But that's why we're here.
That's why we're here.
And it's a gift and a pleasure as well.
Yeah.
And Theresa, I understand as well that you have similar gifts along that way. You're shining your light in that way. Would you like to share for people?
You know, sometimes I feel so plain compared to Zahara. I can't do half of the things she does. She like I'm more poet than visual artist, although you know, the way she brings through soul portraits and the sounding is, oh, and her light language is it's exquisite. But gosh, I don't, you know, how do we identify?
It's tough.
Fairly early on in my journey, the beautiful way shower Sandra Walter, I was looking for words or some like how do I define my own purpose here? And she said to me early on, she said, you're one of the guardians of the organic ascension timeline. So that's just a phrase to hang on to, but there's always been this sense of like my beingness is devoted to being a space holder for this. And you know, I received the ascension downloads when I was 17, and I remember a lot of early childhood contact with beings from many realms shut it down. But in terms of the work I do, I work with, you know, like Zahara, with clients and groups individually, and have led retreats globally. And but I feel my primary work is often the grid and gatekeeping, much less a gatekeeper as a Stargate activator. I was doing that early on, and activating pardon me, higher dimensional crystalline structures and Venus temples on the planet for a while. So yeah, I kind of feel like an overseer who has a bunch of odd jobs, but you know, certainly not the only one. And my own humanity has been a humbling experience, just like everybody else. Like, what the fuck am I doing? What, you know, excuse my language, but you know, a lot of like just finding my way, just like everybody else, and at the same time having these gifts flow through my field and not even being identified with them. It's like you could say I do these things, but I don't ever feel like I do anything. It just happens through me. Mm-hmm. And at some point I awakened to the fact that it was going on, and started getting larger pictures of what's happening on the planet. And so I hope that's not too much, but yeah, that's a little bit about me.
It's not at all. I love the words you've used as well, because it kind of helps. Sometimes they're codes themselves, the words. They're keys for people to have a deeper understanding. And when you kind of said that, it just happens, it passes through you. It's something I've been sharing with my groups, with my ladies, because I'm like, but you are doing it already. Just your beingness is doing it, because your heart is that open.
That's it. When I consciously understood, even though I'd been communicating consciously with other dimensional beings and collectives, I didn't understand that I was quote unquote channeling my own higher self or my own higher aspects until I was doing collage. I love to do collage and multimedia collage, and what I found is that the images would assemble themselves. The pieces would speak to me and show me where they wanted to be put. And at one point I'm like, oh, this isn't me doing this. And it was a very strong sense of Mary Magdalene, or the Magdalene collective, or the Magdalene lineage working through me. And that was the first clue. I'm like, oh, this is how it works. Teresa's this instrument, or this prism or focal point, and then the energy comes, the vaster energy comes through Theresa, and it really, I'm not doing anything. I'm really not doing anything. I'm not manipulating it. I wasn't even intending it. It just happens through me. And on my good days, I get out of the way, or Teresa's personality gets out of the way. On my bad days, Teresa's personality is completely in the way, and I slow things down, and have to go through my own clearing and stuff like that. So yeah.
I think we can all put our hands up, at least I can. I hear you on that. You use the word fractal, and I've heard Zahara use that word before as well. And like, we're all facets. Imagine us all and this is what's exciting for me with you creating this together, that you've held a vision of gathering lots of fractals together. Like, wow, what's that going to create? This excites me when I think about it. I'm just kind of coming in and out with that. Yeah, co-creation. Oh my God. And the body co-creation, because we've been doing so much online stuff for the last few years, right? To get physical, to quote, who's that singer? Getting physical.
Olivia Newton-John. Let's get physical.
Let's get physical.
Well, it's Venus, isn't it?
But I mean, Zahara, we've literally talked about how we want to dance and sing and hug each other and eat good food and just like enjoy this holographic projection.
Exactly, where it's not the dense, not so nice dance, it's the beautiful aspect of this body self. Like, that's the celebration for me, because we kind of maybe some of us lose focus on that sometimes, and we forget. So it feels like the deliciousness of life is coming back in with you bringing forward this Venus energies, right? And I'd love for you to share, how did this happen? How did you two manage to, like, what happened? Two stars collided and created? What happened?
Someone asked me this, I think, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I'm like, oh yeah, it was Lindsay who's coming. He said, I went, how did you? And I'm like, can't remember. I'm not being very helpful at the moment. So I'm like, well, and like often we'll, as well, December last year? No. Well, 5 years? No. 2000 and, oh, well, when we were Venetian, which is just like, so, but yeah, we both were told, instructed, asked, to anchor in the Venus Gaia temple. I heard the message in December, and I think Theresa did. And then I think with the posting on Facebook, we then it came together, and then we've been friends over Facebook, and but not talked a lot together at all, actually. And then it was like boom, and then it was just all these remembering and synchronistic in dreams, visions, experiences, and it was firing off really like on a daily basis. Truly,
yeah. No, keep going.
and been it's I'm finding it really hard to speak English at the moment.
Maybe you need to let something in light language.
But what I will do then, I'll if Theresa wants to say something, but what I'm feeling, because you're joining, we're joining together, is there is a divine, it's divine, the organic connecting when that's happening with the Herios Gamos, the sacred union, tantra, whatever. So I'm feeling it now, because the three of us are going to be part of this divine union celebration. There is a divine reason why we physically are meeting together. Yes, there's kind of with a core group, a very small and vast, each of us a vast group coming to anchor this temple, and then there's people in different places of Gaia that we're going to connect in as well.
Yes.
But there is something very precious that is very organic with the exchange Theresa knows what I'm talking about, with the, I'll leave that with how much you might or not. There is an organic exchange of that happens on the physical to elevate and assist the ascension. No, she's coming again. So if
I know it. I know we're gonna dance.
So I'm like, if I've got 10 days of being with others, being true and allowing all this to flow, I'm like, shit, I mean, whoa.
Yeah.
And how that's just going to ripple out in the area with the people that have been living, the people that are living there and ancestrally been living. And we have connection with the people that are there on the land, whether they know it or don't know it, but they do know it. That's what I'm feeling. I've just sort of felt their presence is kind of go, whoa, you know.
I know.
That's my contribution. So,
I mean, I think one of the huge blessings between me and Zahara is, even though we do speak English to each other regularly, the depth of the telepathic communication is so strong. It's almost it just, the heart connection and the telepathic connection drives everything. So it's, and you know, we were receiving a lot of the same downloads, not knowing it for a long time. And I was aware of who she was and always amazed at what she brought through, but there really wasn't any personal connection between us, except for just from afar. I admired her on so many levels, you know. But we started the Venusian stuff has been with probably both of us off and on for a while. But you know, your focus gets determined by flow and the quantum field, and so it hasn't been like this thing that I've focused on my whole life. But when it started coming in again, I paid attention, because I know those frequencies well enough to know how important they are to me personally, and how important they are to Gaia. And so I think so it was Zahara that thought to connect us in a four-way conversation with Denise Chadwick and Robin Ringgold, who's freaking amazing. Both of those women are freaking amazing if you don't know them. And then it was so clear that the vision I had in December, I was sitting atop of what I now know as the temple. Was sitting on a crystalline structure of the temple, and it was a little bit like I was in my throne or my kingdom, you know, and I was looking out, and it was so profound. It was like being in the Emerald City, but it was these incredible golden rose quartz frequencies of a crystalline, a very large crystalline structure, more massive than I've ever seen. And I've activated or participated in the activation of some really large ones. And I'm sitting atop this structure, and I see hundreds upon hundreds of sisters coming into the city or into the temple, but they're not quite there yet. And I did not know at that point that it was physically aligned with what we call the British Isles. I didn't know that yet. I don't even know when you and I put it together, honestly, Zahara. It was just all of a sudden we just knew it. All of a sudden we just knew it. Oh, I know. I'd been working on this. I've been downloading really my whole life, but this last year intensively, a curriculum for women's sovereign sexuality, meaning that the inner marriage is perfected inside, and the bliss, I call it the bliss body. I don't like to use the word kundalini because people think they know what it means, and sometimes they don't. But where the inner masculine and feminine are harmonized and in marriage enough that the body starts going spontaneously into bliss. And I've been downloading a program about that. That's how I connected with beautiful Myred Gilmartin. And when I went on the mountain, Mount Shasta, maybe in January or December, I can't remember, January, knowing that I was going to bring this program through, I thought I was going to do it online to begin with. And I heard, no, you're doing it in England and Ireland. And then I reached out to Zahara, and all of a sudden, it's like, I swear we didn't plan it, Zahara. It just like all of a sudden it flowed out. It just like we channeled it as we were talking. It just started, it just erupted out of us. And we couldn't have stopped it if we tried. I don't think it was so in us and visceral. And it was like, we had already been there and we just spoke it and we didn't even know that we had been there in a sense. And so again, it's that thing, like Teresa's personality is not doing nothing here. She's just, I'm along for the ride, and I'm not even very attached to this facade that we call Theresa. But it just comes through and it bubbles out, and then when it does, you know what this is like, Mary Catherine. It's just like love is flowing out of your field, and I'm just so humbled to be along for the ride. It's like miracle after miracle after synchronicity bubbles up. And a while ago, my higher aspects had told me, when you get to a certain point, it's going to be like one treasure hunt after another, and you won't know where you're going. You'll just be led, and everywhere you go, you're unwrapping gifts, and you left them for yourself. You left these gifts for yourself. And you've done the work to get you to this point. And I'm not saying I'm still not releasing shit or polarities or whatever, because I do, particularly on the cellular level, but it's like treasure hunt or gift after gift after gift. And I stand in complete and utter awe of our brilliance as creators, architects, designers, of both descension or separation, and then reunification or ascension. And the brilliance of our engineering of this game, of this engineering feat, we call ascension, both genetically and then on all the levels of existence, like the God mind, the God heart mind that created this game. I have utter reverence for it. It's just every day blows me away. And getting to know Zahara and now you and all of the people that are joining together, I want to cry every time there's a reunion. Like, look at the brilliance of these people I'm looking at. I'm just often speechless at the beauty that everyone is carrying and what they've gone through to come together and remember who they are. Remember not even who, but what we are. That remember ourselves as this spark of light that's the source of everything. Oh, crap. If I may, the other thing I want to say is the piece with whether you call it Kundalini or the inner marriage, the Hieros Gamos, that piece of allowing this, I want to dance a little of allowing the sexual energy, what we would normally call sexual energy, but the creative force of God to move through us. That is so fundamental to the Venus Gaia temple. And both Zahara and I have gone through upgrades in our own Kundalini as we've been, receiving more of ourselves. But that sense of celebration of human beings who are coming together, who are experiencing their own completion, their own Father, Mother, God, Divine Child, the Trinity within it's amazing. It's amazing.
Love it.
and the reverence I have for that. It's incredible. Yeah. So I'm so glad you started dancing. And see, oh my God, some of the light languages, some of the beings that come through Zahara, they're just tricksters and playful, and you know, it just, both of us want to play when we're together. And yeah, some of it's so big and so mind-blowing, but some of it is so hysterically funny and irreverent and spacious and playful. And yeah, it's a good party. It's a good party to be at.
And it's kicking off next week, this party, isn't it? The 11th of May in the Golden Mountain in Wales. Have I got that
Yes.
right?
Yeah, Golden Quartz Mountain. Yeah.
And that's like dragon stuff. I remember you telling me about that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, let me just I can get a couple.
There are literal golden healer quartz crystals that are just strewn about the mountain, that are just laying open.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My rucksack was really heavy.
Wow. I mean, they're the size of skulls.
Aren't they incredible? And Zahara showed me this water she took from the waterfall there.
Yeah.
Gifted from the waterfall. It's full of crystals. The water itself is full of crystals.
Oh, wow. That looks like a dragon head a little.
Yeah, it is a dragon head. So and the teeth are quartz.
Wow. Ooh.
And there's another being here. So, but the Golden Quartz Mountain, there's two massive waterfalls. So this is at the base.
Oh, that's getting me right there. Like,
I know, right? I know. Yeah.
like I want to breathe fire right now. Like, oh. Whoa, lots of stuff there.
Yeah. So
what an amazing dragon. Thank you.
Yeah. So just one more. It's about abundance. That's like,
it is, right? The whole.
So,
yeah.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous. That's like a tooth as well, isn't it? Like a.
Yeah. So it's got yeah, the whole thing is.
Yeah, it looks like a. Oh wow, that is beautiful.
So yeah, and it's the whole mountain is a golden quartz, and then connect.
Whole golden dragon, yeah.
Yeah, and then connects with the golden dragons of Gaia and that whole golden quartz resonance energy, and yeah. Is yeah, and so and then you've got the center of the physicians who were taught by the fairy, the she, the shining ones, and the lady of the lake, the knowledge of to heal, and that's right by in the area of the Golden Quartz Mountain. And then there's this other sort of mountain that's a red dragon energy, which is where I stayed at before. So it's all in this huge network land sort of temple
within a temple almost.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first 3 days.
Yeah,
that's a serious landing when you get there as well, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, it's a serious landing. Yeah.
Wow. So my feet are tingling. It's like I can feel my feet tingling when we're talking about it. Yeah. Wow. And yeah, I can feel like there are two separate energies, but they're complementing each other. Would that be fair to say that? I'm just kind of, as you're talking about it, kind of tasting it.
I feel there are, and I have even said to Zahara that I feel that the red dragons are what you would call solar dragons, even though they're inhabiting Gaia. And last year about this time, I was integrating a red solar dragon aspect of myself that just about completely blew my circuitry. But I knew when you introduced me to the location in Wales, to the Golden Quartz Crystal Mountain, I'm like, oh, that's why I integrated this aspect, because I feel, we haven't talked about this, but I feel the Golden Quartz Mountain in some ways is this bridge between Gaia and the sun, to Gaia and Solaris. And so, and the dragon energies help hold that bridge between the sun and Gaia as cells in one body.
Wow.
And also there's, the sun is so its own ascension or evolution into its next service is so tied to Gaia. And so I don't even know if I have words for some of this, but the way the sun and Gaia co-create is held in such a beautiful package there at the Golden Quartz Mountain.
Oh, we're just chatting. I'm just having this.
Well,
And the dragons, oh my God, you're so dragon, and they so adore you, Mary Catherine. They're just like, they just think you're yummy. They're just like,
I said this at the very start before we came on, that I said yes to Zahara. We did like a little chat, Zahara, a few months ago. Got time, like I can't remember time. And you did a golden dragon crystalline 40-minute transmission with me. Do you remember that? We did that together.
Yeah.
And it was then that you told me, because you hadn't announced it publicly, about this pilgrimage. It was then that you told me about it. And I didn't know that our meetup would initiate me into running my very first dragon workshops. Because that happened a week later. And I'm like, I've never done, like, this is out of my comfort zone, because I haven't done dragon workshops before. I did one, and then I was told you're running another. In a month, I had run 2 with 20, 30 people. And we opened a Stargate last week to Antares that's linked in somehow. I don't know yet, understand it. But that was my first time doing these kind of things. And I'm like, wow, we're just kicking each other off, if that makes like dominoes. Like dominoes effects. And the courage I felt that you helped me lock into, because it takes courage to kind of step into this, doesn't it? And for all those people that heard the call, it takes courage for them to say, I'm joining, because you're going to go through some deep work. And like that, I feel I'm playing right now, because whoever is watching this now or in the future, it's not too late to sign up. I'm just going to do a really quick sales pitch, which isn't a sales pitch, because it's not. This is your heart will tell you. Because the minute Zahara said it, she said the name, and I was like, I'm in. I didn't even know what it was. I was like, my body knew, my soul knew. It was a total resonance. And sometimes it can make us afraid, because it can be such a strong pull, and we might want to pull back. But I feel like there's a few people watching this that need to be with us in person. Smell us, taste us, touch us. Well, not quite taste us, but you get what I mean. Like, get there, get on the land.
And it's true. And then the other thing for people to know is you don't have to do all 10 or 11, there's a travel day in there, 10 or 11 days. You can come for 3 days. You can, if you're local, you can come for a day, so there is a deep value at, it's, like our DNA is a key, and the land itself, or the land consciousness, is a lock, and the other analogy you could use is puzzle pieces, and we are fitting together to each activating the land consciousness and the human consciousness, activating each other into higher levels of ourselves, into greater levels of light expansion. And then we do that for each other too. It's one of the gifts. Not that I can't expand without you, but rather, how fun is it that you're the key in my lock, and we set it up that way. And we get to meet, and Zahara got to activate you into the dragons, and you're going to come and join us, and you're activating other people into their dragon energy, into all different aspects of their self. And what an amazing treasure hunt we set up for ourselves.
Because that makes life fun.
It makes life fun. Yeah,
absolutely.
And how
Yeah.
no, I just wanted to say one more time, forgive me, but Zahara is so powerful at activating other people into their more of their dharma, more of their beingness. Yeah.
Cool.
I embarrassed her, but she's
no,
like,
I know it's the energy's just the 2 days. I'm like, wow, we're here, 3 of us, and I'm hardly being able to put words together. So Theresa, you put
I'm holding anchor, honey.
Yeah.
I'm right. You can fly because I'm.
And we
do take turns with each other. Where one of us will just completely dissolve and just get to be in God space and God essence, and then the other one will hold anchor. So it's a really amazing gift. And the group too that comes together will do that for each other, right? Where we will hold each other, and people will get to go into greater and greater states of dissolution to become and experience the all, and not have to mind the body or the human temple. Like the human will get to completely dissolve into God, into the all. And I've had previews of this happening for us in a group together, where we're gonna, it would just go into, I don't have any other words for it, God space, just completely dissolve into the heart of all. Yeah. And it's and what happens to us when we do that in groups, not just alone, because we've all been, or a lot of us have been experiencing that on our own, right? And now to come together physically and have the visceral experience of indeed any solid concept of self-existence dissolve into the one it's so exquisite. It's so exquisite. And then to ground that as a group, to ground those frequencies, and with the highest aspects of Gaia, as we are aspects of Gaia ourselves. I am Gaia embodied. You are Gaia embodied, and to then ground that or anchor that as a group, and then when we do disperse physically, that those frequencies ripple out through the globe, through humanity, through the heart grid.
What has been coming to me, Zahara and Theresa, since I said yes to your container is I've been remembering at a deeper level and being brought into memories that aren't even mine, but yet somehow I'm connected to them from my forefathers, my foremothers. And it feels like they're showing me, this is the way, walk this way, remember. And how we're retracing steps along the land of our ancestors now, because, Wales and Ireland, there's massive connection there. You can hear my voice starting to shake a little. Hold on. That what has been lost is being remembered. But what we're doing with the remembrances is we're anchoring it anew, new. And it's that melding of old and new. It's almost the falling away of the old world, but we're still honoring what was known and bringing it into the new. I'm not quite sure if I'm getting the languaging right here. Yeah. I ended up, I know this is from the dragons as well. I've been guided from, I was trying to, because I never really studied anything. Everything has just been coming through. And I was asking questions about, I don't understand that information you've given me. I was talking to the Standing Stones. I went to see them last week, the Standing Stones in Cork. And we're talking to the stone people. And they brought me to the Druids, the old Irish order of Druids today. And I watched a documentary by the last Irish Druid. He's dead now, he's died. Supposedly he's the last of that order that was there for thousands of years. And one of his things is, and he talked about the land and the stones and the temple, and he talked about the grid systems in his languaging, and how he was part of a triad that held the knowledge, but that it's the old order is no longer needed. And
right.
this was back in the 90s. He was talking about this in the 90s because he's dead a long time now.
Yes.
And he said, my hope is that those coming forward, that there's an awakening that's going to happen. Now, he had no idea, obviously, well, maybe he did. And he goes, telepathy is coming back. It's been gone. He's talking about that. You just mentioned that today. And he goes, my hope is that we come back together again and bring it in you, because the old won't be needed in that way anymore. We'll be bringing it in you. And it feels like that's what you ladies have been bringing in, is what was there has served a purpose, and what's to come now will build anew. And I want to honor that by saying it out loud, that, you know, and it's just allowing, isn't it? You don't have to get too up in the head about it.
Yeah, the aspects of us, if you will, that build, created these templates outside of time. And we stepped into this appearance of time space to receive what has already been created, which is already exists. And within the context of a human body, whenever you have some physical appearance in time, you're in some way in time space, or most of the time. Although even the bodies are becoming quantum, and so we're just aligning to that which already exists, and it isn't what has been. It is new for us. Words really fail here because even our language is linear, right? So we're aligning to something that's never been experienced in the space-time continuum, if you will, even though it's been available on a certain frequency. We just haven't been able to align the physical vehicle into the quantum field enough to shift into that. You know, some of it we've experienced in other civilizations, Lemuria, Atlantis, Elysium, but what we're aligning to, we've never aligned with before in these space-time suits or whatever. Boy, words really fail here. But yes, it is new, and it's not Atlantis, and it's not Lemuria, and it's not Elysium. It is a creation that comes from our infinite. I'm just going to allow the words to come. It's a creation that comes from the infinite part of being that we have not yet received, if you look at it from the perspective of linear time. It is new in every way to our experience, even though it's always been with us.
Right.
It's only now that we can align with it.
It's all play. It's all play. I wonder if we can play with those watching and maybe use words that are not English or breathe, use the body, use the breath, and let through any energies that want to happen. And if any questions come through, we can answer them after that, maybe. What do you feel, ladies? Yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm going to invite anybody that's watching, tag people that you're being urged to now in this call that need to hear the message or just feel the energy. Maybe it's to help them ignite their spark to connecting to their lands, because we're all connected right now. There's circles upon circles doing what we're doing.
Yes.
But we're all, it's almost like, it looks like, you know, the Vesica Pisces, after, you know, I don't know a proper way to say that, but circles interlinking all over the place.
Yes.
Maybe you're part of that where you are, but tag yourself here. Oh, can I masataki in? What's going to flow, ladies? What are we co-creating?
I'd like to fill this space with words by inviting us to actually not fill the space with words. Just feel the energy, feel our hearts. That's it. Move beyond our linear perception, previous limitation, and feel the weaving and connecting. If not now, when?
Why ni masuki ana monanonoki at tatakahara. Thank you. Excuse me.
This is exactly why we're here.
Enyo si andama waheki anama wayiri hata masuki. Wayeni. Iya shotoko nati akala. They're saying also laughter will shift lots of energy, so they've got me like, woohoo.
Yeah.
Oh, what beautiful. Jeez. Thank you. Oh, that was so divine. I loved it. I'm going to see if anybody has any questions. To the Irish ladies and gents watching, we're going to be convening on the 19th, 20th, and 21st.
Yeah.
And it's in Sligo. Okay, so come any of the days there, come for all the three. We'll put the links in after this live so you can go and have a look, to order, to book, to register is the word I'm looking for, to register in. Wales is starting at the Golden Mountain, the 11th, and then you're moving to Anglia. I'm not going to say the word right, am I? Where are you moving after that?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
She 7th century female saint, kind of female version of Saint Francis of Assisi, but she was her own divine person, chose not to be married, and drew lots of other women to her. And there's the chapel has her remains there with the remains of a giant, and there's Venus shells all lining the walls. And then there's a lake that's connected to Tibet. And then after that, we're going to Anglesey, that has a Stargate mountain. That was the last place where the Druids was known to have gone, and they ascended. There's a sacred well there. There's another chapel to another female saint who she assists divine union. She assists love.
Oh, wow.
So there's that chapel there, remains of. Apparently the eels rose up and sang from the sea. You read the plaque by the chapel, and it's all very sort of Catholic, and then you get sort of eels rising up. Sort of
magic.
And then
miracle energy.
Yes. And then we move over into Sligo, and yes, there's I went, I think 2012 I went to Sligo and had phenomenal experience at the Goddess Mound there. Resonance is the highest resonance I ever felt. It was just phenomenal. And then this people that had ascended, and very much like Telos. I didn't. So walking up, we were with an archaeologist, and he didn't say. So, well, we'll just wander over here after we've been to some tombs. And I heard children singing, and I moved into a different dimension, and this priest came up, and he was shocked. I was shocked. And he said, he checked me out, said, all you need to know is spiral. And I was very confused. I was like, so you're not dead, but you're not in the physical.
Right.
There was 4. Now I know, like Telos, as a group they ascended.
Yeah.
And so they are
like the She as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Ireland, there's a couple of different energetic cultures, you could say, that have done that as well. I love that, Zahara. What do they look like us, or did they present differently?
Yeah, they were human. They're human. And I can't remember the name of the place, but I've got it on an old blog, so I'm hoping that we will go and visit, because I've got the name of where it is. Okay. If that flows. Yeah. So that to go back there. And when I was last in Carmarthenshire, the She came through my heart. It was a male presence, and you don't mess around with, quite warrior-like. And he said, we're watching you and you're coming to Ireland. And this is before. I'm like, what am I? And I was, when all the lockdowns were happening, there was like, passports. And I'm like, I'm one of the conspiracy theorists, and I'm being injected, so it's not happening. So how on earth is it going to happen? And 2 weeks later, it all
gone. Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
a different reality.
So they knew, but I'm like, but he was like, we're watching you, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they've been presenting in my visions for a while, both of the ascended groups, so much so that I thought our physical human group was going to be huge, because I kept seeing all these beings with us, and they were humans, what I would call humans. And oh no, I've been in communion with the ascended ones. That's who's joining us. There are a few
Wow.
humans like us. So they've been very present in this, I can't even call it planning, but the execution of this pilgrimage. And I wanted to just say very quickly, for anyone who might still be listening or interested in, there is what I call quite an extraordinary merge of realms and what we would call distinct spiritual lineages happening in this pilgrimage from Africa to Tibet, to the merge of, what often people will think are separate, the fae, the giants, the gnomes, the leprechauns. They're realms that and extraterrestrials, realms that people tend to say, well, they're here, or they're here, and they're here. It's like the
veils are
the veils are just completely dropped, and
like this.
Right here. And so some people are calling it the new realm of Gaia. To me, it's like a collapse of all of the realities into the merge into the one.
Like you said, Mary Catherine, it's the old and new, in a way, if you want to call it anything.
A convergence. Even I kind of liken it. Before it was like an accordion stretched out, and now it's the accordion has been pushed in. That's how I feel the timelines, the dimensions in one space, almost becoming one space.
Becoming one space. That's how I feel too, or am experiencing it. Very much so.
And just yesterday, my son was tuning in. Well, so even that is not relevant. Saying tuning in.
I know.
Can't even speak. That's why I'm like.
It's so inadequate. The English. The English.
Because there is in, out, tuning. Well, yes, I attuned, and the temple was like. Huge.
It's huge.
It's like the whole of Gaia, but it's somehow coming from where we're having this, whatever we're doing, and the beings, they're like the size of the golden beings that I connected to in Kadir Idris in 2010 or something. Like the size of Gaia, they're massive. These, I'm like, whoa. So, and something else. I'm sure it's going to continue, but the amount of stuff that I've had to face physically.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do freedom, I'm like, God, I had an accident. Now this is, I'm like, bloody hell. Wow. And it's like, I was saying to Theresa, it's like the old stuff. It's like trying to move around my body. It's like, because it can't hide anywhere. And it's like, well, we'll do this now. Then we'll, right, you've resolved that. Now we'll go over here and act this out now. And it's like, no, I'm going. Just to say, when I went on my 50th to Kadir Idris with a rucksack and a tent, and I woke up in the morning to go because I'm going to sleep overnight. My whole back went, and I'm like, I just put my rucksack on, looking like an 80-year-old or something. I'm like, I'm going up that mountain, and my back completely just cleared.
Wow.
So I've got that memory from, okay, you've done this, you've done that. And I must say, it looks quite dramatic, my leg now, so it's fine. But I'm like, what other blocks am I going to need to clear?
Release,
That, I totally get you. Before I've done anything big, I've usually twisted an ankle or put my back out. Twice I did that. I did my back last week with Birthing a Dragon, and I was like, wow.
Oh, that'll do it.
It was like literally feeling like I gave birth.
I know. It is like that. I've done it too. It's like one of the most excruciating things I've ever gone through. Yeah.
Ecstatic pain. That's how it was putting it. Because it was orgasmic, but also painful.
Yes, I know.
But yes. Zahara, I hear you. And Theresa.
Yeah, the acceleration of transfiguration into our bodies of light is extraordinary right now in general. And then you bring us into conscious communion, conscious connection, I mean, that already existed, and come into each other's fields, and we're just popping each other off like, like fireworks. Yeah.
Can I just share something really, it's trivial, but it's kind of, so I go into town. This is a big thing. I walk across, sorry, I interrupted too quick there.
No, go.
And I'm like, oh, I'd like to buy myself a new top. I don't like shopping, but I wanted a new top. I thought it'd be nice to have a new top. So go in one shop. I don't like any of these clothes. Don't know what I want to wear. So one shop after another shop. So I end up in this shop that's kind of, I would never go into normal. I don't know. I haven't before. It's whatever. I'm like, oh, I suppose I could wear that. So, yeah, I quite like that. And so anyway, I go to get on the counter. Go, you know, you got a special offer. Get another top. And what? Another top? I'm like, oh God, what do I know? Sure. If it's the money, I'm like, no. I just. So then I started looking at these all that, and I said, oh, it's got a hair. There's a hair on all the tops. It's little icon. It's their whatnot thing.
It's a brand.
That's it. I'm like,
Saint Michelangelo.
yes. So that's all I'm seeing. That's all I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, the hair. So then I go to the counter and I said, well, so I don't know. I said, oh, it's special. I'm getting a top. And so where are you going to? I start going on about Michelangelo and the hair and the Venus and the whatever. And so, and then I come out and I'm like, I'm really resonating in a very different way now. I'm like, I don't care about the top, really. I don't know who I am.
Yes.
I'm like,
that's
I don't know what I like.
That's it.
I'm like, what the? That can't relate to any of these frigging clothes.
Yeah.
I do need clothes, obviously, but I'm like, what? I'm so feeling the separation from people, shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously needed to have that to kind of feel where I'm resonating now. And I'm like,
right.
Don't want clothes. So why did I go and get that top then? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, that it's.
So if we're doing a naked walk up the hill, let us know. If it's one of those trips.
Scare everyone off, but or not.
Oh, I love it. I love that about the hair. I actually read something recently about how in Ireland, it's rabbits they use for Easter, but it used to be hair. The pagan, it was the goddess, symbol of fertility. And the church took away the hair and put the rabbit in instead. But
very different energy, actually.
Yeah, that's fascinating, because then I was like, oh, I didn't realize there's a link to the place you're going with hair as well.
Yeah, and she's from Ireland.
Yes.
Michelangelo is from Ireland.
And she came to Wales to escape a forced marriage at a very young age.
Wow.
It was an avatar. Yeah.
Wow.
So that sovereignty of the feminine to choose her freedom.
Yeah.
It's really strong, of course, through the Venus archetype of temporal.
What will it look like for us? What will it mean for us? I don't know if they're right questions. I'm posing a wondering, like to feel in. What will that feel like to be in that energy, that sovereignty, that, just like Zahara said, there is that dissolution. Like, I'm still attached to stuff. I'm not going to lie, girls, right? Like, I'm still having this thing of let go. Your fingers are grasping. Let go. What you think you want. Right.
It's a kind of because the lovely top and colours, like that's luscious and beautiful, and you are beautiful. So that's the kind of new Venus Gaia resonance. you can be in that lusciousness and celebration symphony of, I want to be dive into this but not be attached.
That's it.
It's different.
It's an isness. Yeah.
Very different. Yeah.
I can feel that deep in my lower womb, actually, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to move.
Oh, it's good. It's good. It's really, I've been feeling it happen and activate in my lower womb a lot. And I've been describing it as the sense of being at all solid, or there being some substantially existing phenomena we call Theresa. It's like I was telling a friend yesterday, I feel like a wind tunnel. I can feel all of the sensual pleasures. They're beautiful, but I have like, well, that's not true, zero attachment, but the attachment is so decreased. It's like some things are happening in my life that I've always I'd hoped for a long time. And I'm like, is this what I want? Like, there's no sense of wanting anymore where some things are concerned. It's just happening, and I can enjoy the sensuality of it, but the denser emotional attachment is gone. It's gone. So for me, I'm really experiencing it very dreamlike, very dreamlike while waking. And you know, yeah, like I said, some things that I had been very attached to for a long time, and then finally gave up as hoping they would ever happen. Some things are happening now, and I just feel like a walking projection on a screen, experiencing it. There's no grasping for it anymore. It's just, I can enjoy it. I enjoy to be touched. I enjoy food. I enjoy making love. But there's no, it's very dreamlike. It's like water slipping through your fingers without needing to hold on to the water. It's hard to describe these things, you know. The spaciousness of the phenomenal or sensual world. It's very, very spacious now. It's much less dense. It's still beautiful and rich, and I can appreciate it, but it's like water moving or flowing without any attachment to it. It's hard to describe these sensations, but
Wow.
yesterday or the last couple days, I just felt like where there used to be some sort of emotional field, I just felt like this huge wide open prairie in which the wind was just circulating, and there wasn't any container anymore, and particularly in my solar plexus and heart area. It was like, do I even exist? The sense of being so light, the sense of being so light. But then we enjoy those subtler frequencies, and so there is a sensual pleasure to it, but it's like more in the subtle realm. I don't know how else to describe. Hard to come up with words for this, but and the play of color and sound and touch and smell and scent is beautiful, but it is also very dreamlike now.
It's kind of like taking magic mushrooms and not.
That's probably the closest analogy I can come up to, is like being on a shroom trip without any shrooms. And so the malleability of all phenomena, the insubstantiality, or the lack of density is very visceral, very visceral.
Because that's a natural state, because I feel the mycelium is really so part of the Venetian Gaian temple. So because it creates, it links all life, so that the diva of this amazing plant really is in service to this, to awaken that sacred sensuality, which isn't like loud and but So you don't, yeah. So but my experience, it very sacred, and yeah.
And the other word I want to use is non-causal. Like pleasure, sensual pleasure is
Right.
non-causal. So within me, what we would call, the orgasmic state is just arising without cause. It's simply because that's who we are. And so there's less and less attachment to any phenomena outside of ourselves as being the cause of it. So I can enjoy your physical beauty, and oh, look at her beautiful color she's wearing, and her beautiful red lips, and the way she moves her body. It's a reflection of what you're experiencing inside. And so there's no need to attach to the outer phenomena. And it's not mental. You just feel it. All of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, it's been here all along. It's been here all along. And
just in the trees, the grass, the flowers, Gaia, in all the beings that are saying, hey, how beautiful am I? Look at this. And they want us to feel this. It's we are being gifted, or we are the gift.
We are the gift.
Love that.
Yeah, so much.
Into the elements. It feels like a deeper resonance with the fifth element of aether. That the magic, it's the space where the God particle resides. It's the space where all the other elements move through, that can either amplify something or, change its texture depending on how attuned we are to it.
Yes.
And this is where Merlin comes in.
Yeah.
I think at this call end up, I'm thinking, oh gosh, what time are we at
there?
Merlin's going boom with his staff.
I know.
Her staff, because when I was drawing the image recently, the Merlin was male, female, male, female, male, female, and Theresa, also picked up on this, and I was like, it was so all of us being resonant with the Merlin, but yeah, that
Well, when I saw our light, I've seen different previews of our light bodies that we're evolving into or transforming into. But when in 2019 in a retreat I was leading in Shasta, I saw very clearly the collapse of gender, the collapse of it was the collapse, or rather it was the merge of the what we would call the gender-based sexual organs. They just merged into one center in the light body, and now as I'm seeing it, it's almost eventual release of even there being one sexual center in the body. No, not at all. Like the creative life force, the sexual energies imbued in every cell. And so and so a lot of us who are working with sovereign sexuality are talking about how for me personally, how the orgasm is not centered in the clitoris or vagina or uterus or cervix anymore. It is held in the entire field, and the orgasmic sensations in the energy body too. So it completely rewrites this sense that there's anything outside of us, because it's non-causal and it's so dispersed, and it's not that it can't run through the sacral, but it can, but the sacral becomes less and less important because the entire field is lit up with the creative life force. And so and so then too, again, the phenomena of other we can enjoy, but because it's all happening in here, we're not dependent on other or anything outside of us. Right. And so we're just having the phenomena of other as this beautiful mirror reflection that we can just go, oh my gosh, look at this color, this scent, this fragrance, this art, this earth, this flower. and delight in it as us, and no need to own it or possess it or control it in any way, because it's simply showing us the phenomena that's happening here.
Yeah. Beautiful. There's one or two questions before we kind of wrap up.
Cool.
I'm looking at your time. One of the questions that I wanted to, because I wasn't sure, I know you held a Zoom pilgrimage, so anybody who can't physically go there, is that still open for people to sign up to?
Yeah, it's
It is?
on my website, on the page. We had the opening, which there's a recording of. So anybody who wants to book on that, they can, and then we will have one live Zoom in each of the 4 sections.
Okay.
I think it's 4.
No, 3.
So
We're doing
3. We're doing
yeah.
3.
3
Sorry.
major nodes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do a live when we're at the area of the Golden Mountain, and then live at the Anglesey Stargate Mountain, and then live at Sligo.
Okay. So people can join if they can't
Yes.
physically make it.
Absolutely. And they'll get even if they can't join at the time we broadcast, they'll get the recording and
recordings. So they're going to get the whole energies, everything is going to come through.
Yes, everything.
Okay.
And even the gateway opening that we did a couple weeks ago was exquisite.
Wow.
It was the gateway for the pilgrimage was exquisite.
Because that was all aligned planetarily, wasn't it? Because this is all we haven't. I didn't sit down and go, right, astrologically Venus is doing with this and this, because I don't kind of compute in that way, astrology wise. I do connect with planets and beings, but not in that way. And it's like, oh well, there's the eclipse with the Venus and the blah. I'm like, wow, we're going to be at this mountain this time when there's this going on and this going on. I'm like, well, of course it is.
Love it.
Yeah, so we'd so invite anyone who feels called to join us on the Zoom pilgrimage. We would love to feel you and thank you for your service. Yeah.
And there's a Facebook page where people are sharing. There's some amazing posts with more and more that's being revealed. People like, oh, have you heard of this? And there's and I've had this experience, and very, very beautiful.
All the synchronicities and magic that happens when we get together co-creating. Absolutely love that. Judy has a question saying, might there be other pilgrimages that you both or individually take you're going to do something similar in the future? Is there going to be another one that she can sign up for? She's in the USA.
Who knows?
I feel like I don't know.
I haven't done this one yet. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will say that if it flows, yes. We're not. This is. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's very.
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's super sweet. Zahara and I are on a kind of need to know basis, so we don't know until our higher knowing knows. Yeah. We're not planning this from our human minds.
No.
I feel like I'm doing everything that way. I get told the day before and it's like I'm given a day's notice to get it sorted. It's like, holy moly. But it happens. It happens. Yeah. It feels like things like that are collapsing as well, and ways are made for us, whether we know it or not, when we're meant to be a place or to do a thing or to meet a person.
Yeah.
The soul families are gathering, like they can't commune, we're communing.
We are. So many of us are being called together now. Yeah. And I see this happening. It's going to happen in communities now. There will be new communities popping up. Yeah.
That is something that this year with, like I only started doing light language maybe 2 years ago, running workshops, and all the people that have joined me on my various workshops, we co-created totally. This isn't a Mary thing. We created our own community to have a space for us to just gather. And we've met up with each other in the physical, some of us, and some of us, I'm going to meet Mairead. That's where I met Mairead, was on one of those. Oh. And just to know that we're gathering around the world in this way, we are getting together. Mm-hmm. We're doing it, and we're going to have physical retreats just like you guys are having. But I can see there'll be little pockets like that of communities, and then I can see us actually linking in the future and having physical places of gatherings as we get more kind of anchored in what we're about and what we want and how we're creating.
So we really are the mycelium network, where it's the organic distribution of energy, where there are hubs of consciousness or hubs of light, but you can't separate us out because we're all one living orgasm.
That's perfect.
We are. It's perfect. Never mind. We are all one living orgasm. One organism, but we are that too. I mean, we're both. Really, we are one living organism. So I'll just let that stand.
That is the Venus energies. There you go.
So, and it's absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
And I just wanted to mention, because of behind you, Mary Magdalene and the Rose lineage is it's the Venus
heart
lineage.
It is.
It's the heart, or maybe the yoni, the heart yoni.
Oh,
the heart yoni of the Venus lineage. Yeah.
It might explain that while I've been on the call, my womb has been going, whew.
Yeah.
Especially with the red dragon.
Yes. Yeah.
For me, I could instantly feel womb work. Wow. So you're bringing in a lot of stuff. You mightn't say the words, but I'm getting the feels.
Yeah, and somebody I was working with a one-to-one. They said, right, the chakra between the root and the womb, that's really, we work with that chakra between there. So I feel, there's more, how body, we're going to understand our bodies more, anyway.
There's a template anchoring in there, and some people call it like a Nadu Bindu point. It's connecting directly into the cosmic mother, and it's a massive, if you want instant manifestations from nothing, and we master that. It's the one where you get fire in your hand, you turn water to wine. Like, if we're mastering, it's enabling. What's that word? Transfiguration.
Yeah.
I feel like you are working on that, because I can feel it like more than ever before.
Yeah.
They're just words again. They're probably not the right words either. Oh, ladies, thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you for the amazing questions we've had. We've had Eve, thank you for joining us. Laurel was saying she had the same thing happen to her. She fell last week and then suddenly it was gone, the pain immediately. And she said your explanation really helped. Thank you. Wow. I think that's it. That's all the questions. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will see you soon in the physical, and I am so looking forward to it.
I can't wait to hug you.
And we will post all of the links up, folks, for you beautiful people watching now and in the future. So if you can't go to the physical pilgrimage, which I really do advise if you happen to live nearby, I mean, if you're in Wales, you're in England, if you're in Ireland, go to Sligo. Otherwise, the online is available and you still receive. It's quantum. Everything is quantum. Zahara, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Theresa, it's been a pleasure as well.
Oh, you too. You too. Thank you. Right back.
Bye, my darlings.
Bye.